Carroll O'Connor truly disliked him more than almost anyone else, and that tension would later ripple through television history in ways few people expected. Long before fame, controversy, or iconic characters, O'Connor was shaped by struggle. Born John Carroll O'Connor on August 2, 1924. In the Bronx, New York, he grew up in a tough Irish-American household where discipline, education, and tradition were not optional. They were survival tools. Life during the Great Depression was unforgiving, and those early hardships left deep marks on his worldview. He learned early how class divides people, how power shifts in a room, and how frustration can simmer just beneath the surface. Those lessons never left him. They became fuel for every performance he would later give. O'Connor never played characters from a distance. He inhabited them. After attending Wake Forest University and later at the University of Montana, his education was interrupted by service in the United States Merchant Marine during World War II. The experience exposed him to pressure, discipline, and human behavior stripped of comfort or polish. The war changed him, sharpening his instincts and giving him a deeper understanding of conflict, authority, and survival. These were no longer abstract ideas. They were lived realities that later surfaced in his work with striking authenticity. After the war, O'Connor returned to school and earned a degree in English, driven by a love for language, rhythm, and storytelling. For a time, he believed teaching might be his future, but acting kept pulling him back. The stage offered something the classroom could not, a way to confront truth head-on. In the 1950s, he made a bold move overseas, enrolling at University College Dublin. Living in Ireland immersed him in classical theater traditions that valued depth over flash. He studied and performed with intensity, learning patience, timing, and emotional restraint. That time abroad hardened him in the best way. When he returned to the United States, he was not chasing fame. He was chasing respect. The 1960s were a grind. O'Connor worked relentlessly, taking guest roles on television and supporting parts in film. Determined not to fade into obscurity, he endured rejection after rejection, believing his moment would come if he stayed true to the work. Audiences caught glimpses of his range in films like Cleopatra, What Did You Do in the War, Daddy? And Point Blank. He moved effortlessly between drama and sharp humor, yet recognition came slowly, and frustration followed him closely. Everything changed in the early 1970s, when he landed the role that would define his legacy forever. Archie Bunker was not just a character, he was a cultural flashpoint. Loud, stubborn, and working class, Archie embodied fears and frustrations many Americans recognized but rarely admitted. The role confronted race, politics, gender, and generational conflict at a time when television usually played it safe. O'Connor leaned in completely. He refused to play Archie as a joke or a villain, instead layering him with vulnerability, pride, and contradiction. Viewers did not always agree with Archie, but they recognized him. That balance was O'Connor's mastery. He turned discomfort into conversation and comedy into commentary, topped the show, shattered television norms, and earned O'Connor for Primetime Emmy Awards. He later continued the character in Archie Bunker's place, but he refused to be trapped by one role. In the late 1980s, he reinvented himself again as Chief Bill Gillespie in the Heat of the Night. The character was thoughtful, evolving, and deeply human, a man learning and changing while confronting racial tension and crime. Behind the scenes, O'Connor stepped up as a producer and writer, helping shape the series into a long-running success and proving his creative authority extended far beyond acting. One of the most personal moments of his life came years earlier. In 1962, while filming Cleopatra in Rome, amid Hollywood chaos, O'Connor and his wife Nancy made a quiet decision that changed everything. They adopted a 6-day-old baby boy and named him Hugh, honoring O'Connor's brother, who had died. The year before, it revealed the man behind the intensity. Family came first. Stability mattered more than status. As Hugh grew older, O'Connor insisted he learn the industry from the ground up. At 17, Hugh worked as a courier on the set of Archie Bunker's Place. It was not privilege. It was discipline. Later, O'Connor created the role of Officer Lonnie Jameson on In the Heat of the Night for his son, standing close enough to guide him while still letting him earn his place. Then, tragedy struck. On March 28, 1995, Hugh died after a long struggle with addiction. The loss shattered O'Connor completely. Fame offered no shield. Success brought no comfort. Instead of retreating, he turned his grief into purpose, speaking publicly for drug awareness campaigns. He spoke not as a celebrity, but as a father. His message was personal, honest, and unflinching. Despite his compassion, O'Connor was famously blunt. When he disliked someone, he did not hide it. His resentment toward Reiner, who played Michael Stivic on All in the Family, was intense and enduring. He once said he had never hated anyone as much. The conflict ran deeper than typical. On-set disagreements. O'Connor felt Reiner's attitude and approach disrupted collaboration and respect. He believed Reiner preached ideology instead of focusing on character, and he bristled at what he saw as arrogance. Still, he never let resentment ruin the work. If anything, the tension fueled the realism audiences loved. Carroll O'Connor died on June 21, 2001, at the age of 76. After a heart attack related to long-term complications from diabetes, his passing marked the end of a defining era in American television. Archie Bunker reshaped sitcoms forever, blending humor with uncomfortable truths. O'Connor was laid to rest at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery with his son Hugh's nameplate beside his own. It was a final symbol of devotion, loss, and love. His legacy endures not just in unforgettable performances, but in the honesty, conflict, and courage he carried both on screen and off.